Welcome back to Fold in the Cheese, a special beach edition. It's your boy K-Troll on the mic today. I'm joined by Survivor on the other side over there. Ethan Gelfand, what is happening?
Well, I didn't realize you were going to be on the beach. I wish I had gone on location too. But yeah, man, we're running our NFL Survivor pool with Pool Boys. And I feel like these buffs are too good not to just use in other formats. So
I'm with
you're
you.
welcome, America.
I've got mine here. We've got a pink and a blue. As you can tell, they've got the Pool Boys logo in the buff.
See, this is what you get. This is what you get for a Pool Boys.
What you get with us? High production quality item right here.
Fully immersive experience, fully customizable. This is going to go to maybe one of the winners. I know that our immunity necklace is going. So,
oh yeah, that thing is sick, man. That thing's like
it is
real bone from real people.
One of them is Sam Hartman's ribs. So
Sam Hartman's rib is on there. The ribs of the non-believers are on there as well.
I think a monkey's paw is there too. So it's great.
Yeah. I love it. I am, for no reason at all, I'm green screening at the beach. I don't know. I was wearing this shirt. I had a coffee this morning and thought I'd just keep it rolling. So
let's just go. Well, it's also not fair. You're not going to be too far from that scene next week. You're going to Florida, you jerk. So
I am going to Florida like a jerk, but I will be in Disney, not the beach. Quite a different vacation.
Different vibe.
Style.
Different vibe.
Rather than laying out on the beach with a pina colada in my hand, I will be trouncing around Disney, the concrete jungle, for like 40 miles a day. So,
okay, so I know your family goes every year to Disney because it's Jamie's family. This is their biggest tradition, right?
Yep.
Okay, so and I know it's very structured. You guys plan it out to the nines, which I love, and I could also see how it would be tough. But I love that fact because you're gonna hit everything. So, do you do all 4 parks? I can't remember.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So you do all 4 parks. So will you drink around the world at Epcot?
I will not drink around the world. I will probably have a couple of drinks while we're in Epcot. I'm going to say kind of like hopefully have a couple of drinks. It's so go, man. There's not a lot of time to just be like, hey, I'm going to swing in here and grab a beer. Like that's just not in the plans. And so it has gotten tougher and tougher. The first time I went to Disney with them, we didn't have kids. None of us did. So it was just like a bunch of adults. And I was like, why are we going to Disney?
Why are we here?
Children's theme park. But come to find out, it was a great time. And the rides are still fun, but also like the parks are cool and the attractions are cool and the shows and all that kind of stuff. But it was during the wine festival, the Beer and Wine World Festival or whatever in Epcot. So you could drink around the world. And it was like, I was like, I'm just going to get sloshed. And so I did. And it was a great time. But then we went to the Dueling Piano Bar and all that kind of stuff. So it was a good time. But nowadays, like I think we were there last year over spring break, and it was like St. Patty's week, and so I got to get a green beer with my father-in-law because he insisted on it. And I was like, I'm with that guy. Let's go. Normally, I'm the one who's kind of like, I would like to have a drink right now, and everyone else is like not in that mode, Yeah. So I'm not trying to be Debbie Downer for anybody, and it's there for the kids anyway, so whatever.
Of course, of course, it's for the kids. Well, good luck next week. I know it's a good and a bad thing. It's great that you get to experience this, but sometimes it can be hard if you're getting, as you said, very structured every minute. But it's gonna be.
We do talk about it a lot though, because we're like, if you don't do it that way, number one, it's gotten so expensive for like any normal family in America to go to this place is like insane. So, which really sucks. It really sucks because it should be affordable for everybody. I get this capitalism or whatever, but like, I feel like the government needs to take this thing over, not to run it better because that would be awful, but just to make it so that everyone could go. Like the government's taking it over and it's half the price and anyone can go.
That would be
but the other thing is like otherwise if you don't plan it correctly, like you stand in line the whole time and you end up getting on like 3 or 4 rides the whole day.
Yeah,
your kids are a nightmare. You don't get to experience the whole thing. If you're gonna pay that kind of money to go, you might as well do it right. And so we hit all the highs, we hit them all. So we'll be there in all the parks doing all the things.
Have you seen those like Instagram videos or little shorts where it's like dad training for Disney and he's on a treadmill? It's like the one kid hold and he has like a kid on the treadmill and then it's like one has to go to a bathroom and he's like a double stroller pull and it's always just kind of funny. So
the 3 backpacks and a stroller and trying to drink a coffee.
have you done your training yet? Because you're leaving in what, 3 days, 4 days, 3 days?
I have not done my training. I did buy some new shoes, which I
better break those in.
Because I've started to realize that although I do work with the on clouds most of the time, I found randomly that if I have to walk like a ton, they're not super comfortable. And so at least the pair
Did you
that
get
I
one
have.
of those fancy new Hoka shoes or whatever those are?
I didn't do the Hokas. I hate the way they look, and so I couldn't bring
They
myself
do look
to it.
clunky. I don't know.
I don't like them at all.
Yeah.
I've heard everyone says they're really comfortable. I think they're hideous. I couldn't do it. I did go with Asics, which I also don't totally love, but I found a pair that I like the look of them, and they're extremely comfortable. And so
I swear to God, if you start getting those white New Balances, you're done. You're done.
I'm going to go back to those Velcro shoes at Walmart I used to buy back in college.
Yes, those were
comfortable.
Those were comfy. Okay. Well, good luck, my friend. You said you're leaving Friday or Saturday? I can't remember.
Saturday.
Okay. Well, good luck. We'll be thinking of you. Maybe we'll do a pod on location. We'll see. We'll see how you're feeling.
I don't know if I'm going to have time to sneak that in. You may be riding solo next week.
Can we do it like while you're
on? Get in there with you.
We should do it while you're on a ride, like in the Tower of Terror. You're like,
an AirPod going. Yeah, I've got an AirPod going. Yeah, we're going down.
We're going down right now. I just need a play-by-play. That would be spectacular.
Okay.
We'll spitball
something out.
We'll table it. Anyway, so week 4 officially done in the books for NFL and the fantasy season. Big news. Tell us what happened, Kemp.
Off the schneid. Team Booby Miles is off the schneid. We are now 1-3, a resounding 20-point victory, and felt pretty good. I got to say there was a small caveat to it that wouldn't have mattered anyway. Come to find out, no big deal.
You're lucky Daniel Jones shat the bed. Otherwise, it would have been a huge asterisk. But yes,
it would have been a big asterisk. But Aaron, Airdog, my opponent this week, played Deshaun Watson, who didn't play, and so he had a 0 at his quarterback, and I was feeling pretty good about that. I was ahead by like 25, and then I was like, yeah, but if Daniel Jones has a big week, I'm going to feel crappy about having won this way because he had Daniel Jones on his bench. He shit the bed anyway, so big W for my squad. I feel like the momentum is shifting.
I was going to say, a win is a win. It doesn't matter how you get it. It's Aaron's bet. So I would not have put an asterisk on it because you know what? It's your job as a manager to know who's playing and who's not. So
that's true.
That would have been on Aaron. So no
That's
asterisk.
True. Even though he's like 40 hours behind, it's hard for him to keep up with current news.
And knowing him,
I will take the W.
Yes, and knowing him, he's probably in like Saskatchewan or Zimbabwe.
He's in Micronesia or something. Yeah, who knows?
No, he's always traversing. Yes, congrats, man. Big W.
Many thanks.
Glad to see you get off the schneid. I was playing Ricky, our good friend Ricky, friend of the podcast, and as you and I were talking about it right before we came on. I actually did not have a great week, but I had 2 guys who had a freaking spectacular week.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
Yes, I did. Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs carried my squad, combined total of over 80 points. So that
unreal.
Really all I needed. So although I'm just always such like a negative Nancy in the sense that he had who did he have? He had Dak Prescott on Sunday Night Football. And I think I was up by 40 or something like that.
Something where you're not going to get caught.
And so he was texting me and he's like, watch him go up for 600 yards and 6 TDs. I'm like, if that happens, I will quit fantasy for life.
Especially against the Patriots. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I was thinking about like, they're going to murder the Patriots. So, and then he gets off to a hot start. In the first quarter, he had over 100 yards, a touchdown. I'm like, this is my nightmare. And I'm literally just keep refreshing the score. I'm like, and this game is going by so slowly. The Patriots keep turning the ball over. So it was, again, I'm a negative Nancy in that sense. I'm like, it's going to happen. I just know it. It's going to happen. So luckily it did not. So I was able to win. Ricky, sorry for Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs. It's unfortunate.
That is garbage. It was garbage.
So I am currently 3-1. I'm actually in first place somehow because Hazer lost. And, who was in first place? He was the only one who was undefeated, ridiculously enough. So, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
I got a feeling he's going to be doing a lot more losing because he made an awful trade with you, which you need to get to.
Trade.
This is garbage. Although, here's what I will say. Fantasy karma is real, and it's going to affect both of you. Number 1, the guys you traded him are probably going to start blowing up. Okay. Number 2, the guys you got are going to suck. Just going to say it.
Here's the thing. So Hazer and I did make a trade. I traded Terry McLaurin, Damian Pierce, and Jerome Ford for Jahmyr Gibbs and Cooper Kupp. So as we've been talking about previously on the podcast, we both Kemper and I have been looking to kind of do like a 2 for a 1 or like a 3 for a 2. Kemper, especially because he does have that depth on the bench, especially with the Jonathan Taylor, who we'll talk about in a minute, kind of potentially coming back. So for me, I really just also wanted to as we talked about prior to the draft, I like Jahmyr Gibbs. And he has actually been underperforming this entire year. He's just getting worked into the offense. He's a rookie. We're starting him off slowly. As I was talking to another friend of the podcast, Kyle Seegert, about him, that they don't want to necessarily have the DeAndre Swift effect where he might get hurt because they're using him in a lot of different roles. So they're slowly integrating him into the offense. And it doesn't help that David Montgomery has actually been playing really well for them. So Jahmyr gets to start off slowly. So I have, and I continue to hope big things for him, but he hasn't shown it yet. I think his high score so far is 12 points. He's been getting 12, 9, 8, like 10. Like those have been his scores. And it's not good that David Montgomery just had his best game of the year coming back from injury, over 100 yards, 3 touchdowns. So
that's that fantasy karma right there, because that's the week that you had Gibbs and Hazer had Montgomery.
And did he have him? No, he started him. He did start him.
He started Montgomery. Yeah.
Kemper, you got to pump the brakes a little bit, because I do remember your god-awful trade last year with Drader, but we don't need to rehash. That was in the past. So, yes, this was a trade that we made. It's to fight. I mean, Cooper Kupp hasn't played yet. They're going to see if he's going to practice. I think today is the official seeing if he's going to go this week, practice-wise, not even necessarily a game. So, I still think it's a little bit of a risk on my part, just with the uncertainty of Cooper Kupp and the fact that Jahmyr Gibbs still haven't proven himself. But I was comfortable enough that I wasn't a huge fan of Jerome Ford. I liked him as my fantasy, as a waiver wire pickup. I thought he was good for me there. But with Aaron Jones coming back, I still had space, and I had Alvin Kamara coming back, who actually had a good return. Granted, the most weird stat line, Alvin Kamara, 13 receptions for 30 yards or something like that.
Yeah.
Dumb. But
PPR monster.
PPR league, that's great.
Theo Riddick numbers from back in the day is what that is.
So, I mean, he got me 21 points on those receptions alone, because he only rushed for something like 40, but I'll take it. So that's fine. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Who do I have this week? I have your brother, Jeff Brown's All-Stars. Did he draft Nick Chubb? Because why is his team so terrible?
He drafted Nick Chubb and J.K. Dobbins, actually.
Oh, God. Because I'm looking at
his team has been absolutely decimated.
I was looking, I was like, why is his team so terrible? Like, he's starting Zeke, and I'm like, oh, it must be bye weeks. No.
Yeah. Nope. He actually, all things considered, he picked up Kyron Williams early, so he's okay there.
That did help.
He's got DK Metcalf and Brandon Ayuk. He's got Jalen Hurts, Evan Ingram at tight end. Not too terrible, but yeah, he had, if you can imagine.
This week Metcalf's on bye, so I was like, okay.
Yeah, he's in trouble. He's in trouble this week.
So I will say the only other problem with this trade that right now this week, combined with bye weeks, if I don't make any pickups or other moves, or if Cooper Kupp does not play, I have to start Rashee Rice and Marvin Mims Jr. So there's
Marvin Mims is a baller.
He's good for one long touchdown potentially.
Yeah.
So
okay. Well, I will tell you, looking back on this, to kind of rehash the draft real quick.
Yeah.
One thing that has worked out for me, that no quarterback strategy has worked really well for me, because I took in like the 12th round Anthony Richardson, who's been a freaking monster. He's been so good with the rushing upside. He's also passing pretty well, pretty accurate, not a lot of interceptions. And then I picked up off the waiver wire CJ Stroud, who's also balling out. And so I feel really good about my quarterback situation after a draft where I was like, everyone kept taking the guys I wanted. It worked out in my favor.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes just like a couple years ago when I picked Tom Brady in like the 9th or the 10th round, and he was QB1.
Yep.
So you can get those guys. And just like, again, a couple years ago, you get Deebo Samuel in the 9th. He was wide receiver 1 or 2. So, you can't, that's why the late rounds can produce those gems. And it's important to, kind of know your guys. And in your case, you were waiting on a quarterback somewhat intentionally and then somewhat unintentionally, and it can work out. So good on you, man.
Just like Hollywood Brown crushing it right now. You just hate on him all day. He's just crushing. All he does is win.
Who am I hating on?
Hollywood Brown. He had 16 and a half points this week.
Such a random call out. I was like, oh, Hollywood. Okay. Hollywood. Yeah.
Yeah, you hate on him. You hate on him.
I do. I'm not a fan of Hollywood. That's all right. Again, I think
All
as we
right,
talked about
so
last
there's a couple things we
episode.
want to get to today. One, the Jonathan Taylor
Oh, Jonathan Taylor.
off the pup. I don't know why our video.
I think you keep disappearing, Kemper. But what he's trying to say is Jonathan Taylor coming off the physically unable to perform list. And so whether or not he's going to start practicing, it's still contentious. He still wants that trade. Nothing's happening. He's not going to get traded this year, right, Kemp? He's not going anywhere.
I don't think that's true.
You think he's still going to get traded?
I think there's a very good chance he gets traded.
Okay.
Yeah, I really do. I don't think that's off the table at all. I think there's still interest in him. Running backs are still getting injured. There are teams that still need a running back, like the Ravens, for instance.
So two questions
places he could go.
Okay, so first question was give me 2 places you think he could go, and then second, what are your fantasy aspirations for him? Because right now he's on your IR. Are you going to take him off this week or not?
Well, if I don't have to, no, I'm not going to take him off my IR if he's still on the pup. No way.
Well, right, but I'm saying if he's active,
if he's active, then I'll wait for the news to see if what the expectation is. I think he's potentially just going to hold out from the Colts and just be like, I'm not playing for you. Wow. And as long as he can. There's a point where he has to start playing to accrue tenure as a veteran and to accrue the year as part of his contract deal or whatever, which would increase his veteran minimum salary and put him towards, pension or whatever. So I think for sure you'll know if he's going to play or not. But I think personally he's going to, my guess is he's going to hold out and be like, I'm not playing for this team.
Which I just think would be so dumb. Look what happened. I mean, again, I know we obviously talked about Le'Veon Bell, but one I think that gets forgotten is Melvin Gordon. He was holding out, and he's doing he held out for the first 4 or 5 games, and then I don't want to say he caved, but he's like, okay, I'll come play. And then since that, he's been terrible, and he's just got taken off the practice squad in Baltimore. So I just think if you're looking at
Jonathan Taylor, when he did that, he was older. Taylor's still. He's on his rookie deal.
25.
He's young, man. I mean, he's still got 2 or 3 at least really solid years ahead of him. But as a running back,
right. But I'm just saying, there's no benefit to sitting. Recent history.
That's why I think he's going to get traded. That's why I think he's going to get traded. I think someone's going to go for it.
I hope so. All right, so you say potentially Baltimore.
I'd say Baltimore, and I think Green Bay's still interested. It sounded like the Colts were wanting Christian Watson. And the reason I think they're still in play is, and the Packers initially said no way. That may be more possible after seeing Jaden Reed out there and being like, you know what, Dobbs has been a target monster. Jaden Reed has been a really nice rookie for us. Maybe we would consider Christian Watson. I don't know that they'll do that. I still don't know that they'll do it, but they may trade a first-round pick and take Taylor. They'd have to sign him, and
sign
a trade.
Would they have taken Jones or Dillon?
I don't know. Maybe Dillon, probably not Jones.
Otherwise, that would be the most crowded running back room and fantasy nightmare. Great.
It would be awful. I think they'd have to send Dillon. I think, but. I don't know. Maybe they'd send Jones. I'm honestly not sure. I don't know how the contracts look and all that kind of stuff anyway. But if the Colts would take Jones or Dillon, that would certainly make it more tenable for Green Bay. They'd still probably have to send a pick and they'd have to sign Taylor to a big deal. But I don't know. I'm not an insider. I don't have the inside there. I just hope he goes somewhere. Hope he goes somewhere. Hope he plays.
Schefter's not in your backyard tweeting out what's happening. But okay. So for now, you're obviously waiting on Jonathan Taylor. Are you actively trying to trade him yourself?
I'm not actively trying to trade him because I kind of want to find out where he goes. And truthfully, another reason I hope he gets traded is because Zach Moss has been really pretty good in his absence.
Yes.
And if they trade him, I've got 2 now really solid options.
But again,
I've got a lot of trade material.
Again, kind of as you and I've gotten a little bit into cards lately. Sometimes it's more an unopened box of cards is more valuable than. So I think Jonathan Taylor right now is an unopened box of cards in the sense that his value is high right now because you don't know. He could be amazing if he either plays with the Colts or if he gets traded to a great situation, or if you hold on to him, wait, and then he goes to I don't know, let's just say Buffalo, and where he might be splitting time with a James Cook or Damian Harris. It's that three-headed monster kind of thing. He's not going to be as good. So that's why I'm just curious if you might be saying like his value might be at his peak right now just because of that uncertainty.
What do you like to do with an unopened box of cards?
I mean, selfishly, I would
Open
love to open them.
Rip it, baby. Rip that wax.
Yep, you're ripping.
I'm going to hold it and open it up. See what happens.
What do I got? Okay.
Because here's the thing. If he does go to a different team, I've got Zach Moss and Miles Sanders, Josh Jacobs, Austin Eckler, and Jonathan Taylor, and I can only play 3 of them. That's 5 starting running backs, and I can only play 3. I could then go to move one of those other guys, or 2 of them even, honestly, and haul in something in the receiver department maybe, or a tight end or whatever. I've got options there. So that's what I'm hoping for, at least. We'll see.
That's fair. Hey, what do you say we do something we haven't done this season on air, and we do a little Pigskin Pick'em?
Let's do it.
Oh, Dr. Kyle Seeger, don't be cheating and listening to our picks, even though you're kind of dominating us so far this year. We won't talk about that. But
I had a bad week.
You did have a bad week. All right. So let's bring up the old sheet. I know we got to go on my page this year. Oh, we're already at the bottom. Got to go on my page because you have already made your picks. So you didn't want to sway me here.
I didn't want to spoil anything and give you all my hot tips.
Okay. So Kemper, well, we haven't done it in a while. I almost kind of forget our format. We obviously switch off who picks first. But I'm going to throw it to you here. And Bears Commanders Thursday night, man. What are we thinking? And
Bears looked a lot better against Denver.
You said what?
I said Bears looked a lot better last week against Denver, but I think that's honestly more a Denver thing than anything else. Washington's defense is better than Denver's. I hope the Bears have turned the corner a little bit, but I'm going to go with Washington in this game.
You're not going to go with Washington. I too am going to go with Washington. I think they've also been like a plucky team. Granted, they had that one terrible outing against the Bills, but then to come back and really push the Eagles, they look better. So
yeah, the Bears defense has been the problem, honestly.
Yes.
All right, so we've got the Jags taking off against the Bills in Buffalo. Jags been a little shaky. Bills coming off a big win against Miami. Who you got?
I got the Bills here basically just because of your strategy where, they had to go across the world in London, and now they're coming back stateside. They're still going to be groggy going Bills.
This game's actually still in London. So
that's right. They're playing back to back.
They're doing 2 weeks in London.
This is messing me up even more. Oh, God. Bills.
So the Jags now have been there for a couple of weeks.
That's right. So now the opposite. So you better be picking the Jags. I'm going Bills.
London loves the Jags.
They do. So
I'm going with the Jags. Screw it.
Oh, he's going with the Jags.
I have no reason to go for them, and they will probably get curb stomped. But they are London's team, and they've been there for 2 weeks. Why not?
Okay. All right, your former hometown Falcons against those upstart Texans. Who you got?
I like what I'm seeing from the Texans, man. I'm going with the Texans here. Desmond Ridder is a disaster in Atlanta currently, and I hate that for him. Everyone's chanting to get Heineke in there. That's not a good sign.
If that's your
but I'm with CJ Stroud and the upstart Texans.
Yeah, I too. Crazy enough, CJ Stroud, I mean, what is it? He's the 6th quarterback in history in his first 4 games to average 300 yards passing and throw 0 interceptions. So it's pretty crazy.
Incredible. Yeah.
He's been really
incredible.
Good. So
did not totally see that coming.
Neither did I. Did not see that.
Wasn't sure who he was going to throw it to, honestly.
Right. Nico.
All right. We got Carolina traveling to Detroit to take on the Lions. Who you got?
Detroit. I think it's crazy because obviously the Panthers haven't won yet. They've not looked great. But because of the trade last year for the number 1 pick, the Chicago Bears currently hold the 1st and the 2nd pick in this year's draft. Which, Caleb Williams, Marvin Harrison Jr., done.
Boom, and that team is totally revamped immediately. Yeah. I agree. I'm going with the Lions as well. Lions have been looking great. Panthers have struggled. Bryce Young is struggling. The line's not holding up for him quite like I hoped they or expected they would. Miles Sanders is struggling too. Too much Chuba Hubbard back there. I don't like it.
Across the board.
Yeah.
All right, man. This is a tough one. AFC South, your division, your Titans going to the Colts. It's going to happen.
I don't think they're going to win at Indy, which is weird to say that. Like in the NFL, you feel like the home field advantage thing is overblown, but like I think the Titans can probably win this game at home. I don't think they'll win it at Indy. Anthony Richardson's kind of an X factor, man. I don't think they're going to get it done, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's again like the the young teams have been plucky this year, and the Colts have stayed in the games. I know they couldn't get it done against the Rams last week, but as you said, Anthony Richardson has actually been quite surprising. The Titans are just sorry to say about your team, man, but they're just kind of like bleh. Like Tannehill is
Jekyll and Hyde, man.
You said what? Jekyll and Hyde? Yeah.
They're Jekyll and Hyde. You don't know what you're going to get.
Derrick Henry hasn't done not much this year. Traylon
He looked fantastic last week. He looked fantastic last week.
Prior to that, he had one game with
He's been
10
fine,
yards.
but they have not had the game script to use him the right way, and they finally just put it on the Bengals last week, and he looked amazing. He threw for a touchdown.
He did throw for one, but I'm saying earlier in the season, my friend. But yeah, I too feel a little bit better about the Colts, which is crazy to say.
That is wild. All right, this is a weird matchup. The Giants are heading down to Miami to take on the Dolphins. You don't see this interdivisional like this that often, so who you got?
The Dolphins. The Giants are a dumpster fire. They're terrible.
Do you think Saquon plays this week?
They need him to, but again, what we talked about a couple weeks ago, how either the GM or Dable said that Saquon probably might not even miss time because he's a really good healer and he's got this secret. Like, no, shut the hell up.
Adamantium bones. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, why would he ever come back early? So, do I think he plays? No, I don't.
I think he probably does play, and it does make a big difference for the Giants, but I'm going to go Dolphins here.
Yeah. Not that big of a difference. Ugh. This game. Luckily, you get to go first. Patriots Saints.
Oh, God. I don't want any part of this.
This game is so gross.
This game is so gross. My inclination was...
I'm going to go Patriots just because call it the hometown bias to me, but also it's just like you can't just do what you did against the Cowboys and then lose. I don't know. Something has to happen here. The Saints have also not looked great either. I know Derek Carr's a little banged up, but I don't know.
I had the exact same rationale.
What? I just remembered that Judon and Christian Gonzalez are hurt.
Yeah, but J.C. Jackson's back, so.
Oh, great. A healthy scratch for the Chargers every week. I don't know. Screw it. YOLO. Patriots.
Yeah, I actually had the exact same rationale. I thought there's no way that Belichick comes out here and lays another egg. He's got to turn this thing around. The Saints are garbage, honestly. Like, they've got some playmakers, but Derek Carr's banged up. He's not great right now. I'm going with the Patriots reluctantly.
You are?
Same reason. Yeah,
wow.
I already had him picked.
All right.
Sticking with it.
Is this me now, I guess?
How about Baltimore traveling to Pittsburgh? Here we go. The Mitch Trubisky-led Steelers.
Ravens.
Yep. All right.
With
Same
Mitch
here. Ravens.
And my boy Fryermuth being hurt. Najee's just so mediocre. It's sad.
Najee and Jalen Warren. That thing is killing me. I've got them both in our Dynasty League, and I have to keep playing them both because I don't know who's going to do well. Ugh.
God. Also, the Ravens, I mean, they look good. They played well in Cleveland. So
they finally started clicking.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Eagles going to LA. Rams. Chargers on by.
This could end up being a really good game. The Rams have looked really surprisingly good this year. And if Cooper Kupp is back, it's going to be especially hard. I'd put the Eagles on upset alert for this one. I'm taking the Eagles, but would not be shocked if the Rams pull this thing off.
Yeah, because the Eagles have looked mortal. They've looked susceptible, against the Commanders, and even prior to that, against the Patriots week 1, they almost blew that one. And you're right. Cooper Kupp will be the X factor. So I'm just going to go on a limb. I'm not doing any contingencies here. Because I've also liked Puka Nacua. He's been spectacular. Between him and Kupp, if they're both on the field, yikes. And if Kyron Williams can rebound, upset. Watch it.
Yeah, I don't hate that pick.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, Bengals traveling to Arizona.
You would have thought this would just be the slammiest dunk of all picks, but
look at America or the world saying 65% Cincinnati. That's how close this thing is.
That's
35-35. Isn't that wild?
It should not, but it is. But I got to go Cincinnati. I know he's not healthy, but he's got to not do this. Just for my fantasy team alone in my neighborhood, I need him to play well.
Give me the Birds. I'm taking the Cardinals.
You are taking
the Bengals. Suck right now.
They do suck right now. I'll tell you what, Josh Dobbs has been a quiet surprise this season. He has played well because he's also probably YOLOing. He's like, screw it. I'm playing with house money right now. Why not?
Josh Dobbs has honestly been a really solid NFL quarterback whenever he's gotten an opportunity. He's very serviceable and he makes good decisions. He's super smart. He's like a genius. He's like a rocket scientist or something. I forget. It's like an aerospace engineer or something crazy in college. He's real smart, makes good decisions. He's got some mobility. James Conner's been running well. And Hollywood Brown, unguardable. Let's go.
Unguardable. Can't get him. All right. Another dumpster fire. Broncos Jets. Who you got?
All right. So this one actually, I was going to go Broncos with this one because Zach Wilson sucks, but he looked better last week. But I remembered Sean Payton taking a dump on Nathaniel Hackett. And I'm going with the Jets. And the Jets are out for blood, man. I'm going Jets with an attitude coming in there and taking care of business.
I'm going Broncos. Oh, I'm clicking the wrong screen. I'm like, why is it not making the selection? I'm going Broncos. Not confidently, and I really shouldn't because they almost lost to the Bears. It took another miraculous comeback, but I just feel like they have tools on offense. Russell Wilson can get it done, and they're at home. Jets don't play that great away. I hear what you're saying. I don't feel great about this pick, but I don't know.
Broncos have potentially the worst defense in the league. The Jets have one of the top 5 defenses in the league. That's the big difference between this and the Bears game, okay?
True.
That Bears game was a shootout, but the Bears defense is junk. The Broncos will not be moving the ball against the Jets like they did against the Bears.
I hope you're wrong. I really do.
How about the Chiefs heading to Minnesota to take on the Vikings?
Chiefers.
Yeah, I'm going to go Chiefs as well. Vikings finally got that W last week. It's good to get off the schneid, but there's something just not totally right there. Jordan Addison was like absent last week.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on with the game plans.
Well, once again,
sure. They need to get him more involved.
Ricky had Jordan Addison, so he got a big donut from him. That did not help either. So
no bueno.
Sorry, Rick. All right. Ooh, very
game
interesting
of the week
game. Here. Cowboys Niners in Santa Clara.
Yep, this is the game of the week for sure. I'm really excited to see what both these teams look like, but I think the Niners are unstoppable right now. They're scoring like every possession. Brock Purdy is so rock solid. The defense is great. The Cowboys without Trayvon Diggs, that definitely hurts. I'm going to take the Niners.
Yeah, everything you just said. No Trayvon Diggs. And Brock Purdy, what did he miss? One pass last week, and he threw it 21 times? I mean, he doesn't have to be flashy. Just you get the job done. Give it to Christian McCaffrey. You're fine. So
Christian McCaffrey is otherworldly right now. It's just unbelievable.
It is wild. It is wild.
All right. Monday Night Football, Packers heading to Vegas to take on the Raiders. Will it be Aiden O'Connell? Will it be Jimmy G?
It doesn't matter. It's going to be the Packers.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. I've been surprised to see what Jordan Love's been able to do. He's actually been pretty composed, kind of even in games they were down. He's come back to win that Saints game. He seems very solid to me, and that's something I wasn't really ready for, but I've liked what I've seen on the Packers so far. I have not liked what I've seen on the Raiders. I know your boy Josh Jacobs finally showing what he can do, but give me Green Bay.
Yeah, I think you're another week healthier for Aaron Jones and Christian Watson. That's the big difference. They came out on limited snaps last week. Thankfully, Watson got in the end zone for me. Jones did not for you. But I think another week removed from those injuries, some extra time off. That was a Thursday night game. Extra time off to rest. They're going to come out in better health. You're going to see a full game of Christian Watson, full game of Aaron Jones. Too much firepower. I'm going to go Packers.
All right. I'm going to give you I know you already typed yours in, so I know you already did it. So I'm going to go with 44 here. 44.
That's exactly what I've got.
Shut up.
Yes. I have 44.
Damn it.
You have to change.
I don't have to change. You have to change.
Okay. Well, I'm not changing.
Well, I'm not changing it. Fine. Good.
I hope we tie and tie again.
I hope so too. Well, sweet. Well, that's fun to do that. We haven't done that a little bit. So again, Kyle, if you're listening, don't snake our picks. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what happens, and a lot of weird headlines. Cowboys Niners game is gonna be good. So
that's gonna be sick. Yeah, Monday night game, that'll be good.
So until next time, keep on folding.
Fold it.